Priya, is it true that the more I affirm for my specific person, the more my specific person will focus on themselves and therefore I'm pushing them away? Stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to be breaking down if there is any truth to this question. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I am going to be shining some light on what actually happens the more you affirm for your specific person. But first, if you would like to get coached by me, I offer an online course, Manifest Your SP Mastery, where I show you step by step how to manifest your specific person. I also offer one-on-one coaching to help you manifest anything that your heart desires. And finally, I also offer a monthly membership group coaching. This is where you can get live coaching with me on a weekly basis to really stay on top of your manifestation game. Now, you can get access to any of these offerings by clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. What happens the more you affirm for your specific person? Now, this video is really answering one of the questions I got from you guys, which basically went along the lines of, Priya, is it true that the more I affirm for my specific person, the more my specific person will focus on themselves? So in other words, I'm actually like repelling them away. What is your view on this? And I thought this was a really great question because there's definitely a lot of mixed opinions out there about what happens the more you affirm for your specific person. So first, I want to start off with the basics of how to manifest anything that your heart desires, whether that's a specific person, a new job, more money, better health, etc. All you have to do is think as if you are the version of you that already has your manifestation. This means if you're manifesting a specific person, you go to the end. You think as if you are the version of you that already has your specific person. So let's say that, for example, that you desire a committed relationship with your specific person. All you have to do is think as if you are the version of you that is in a committed, loving relationship with your specific person. You just think from the end. And that's why affirmations are really useful. Affirmations, remember, are just the thoughts that you are thinking. So if you begin to affirm, me and my specific person are in a happy, loving, committed relationship, I am always prioritized, I'm always chosen, and you begin to only think those thoughts about your specific person and about your love life, when those thoughts become the dominant thoughts within you, dominant meaning you're telling these new stories more than you're telling the old stories, the old story being SP hates me, SP doesn't love me, SP is not ready for commitment, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not pretty enough, etc., etc. So when your new story becomes dominant within you and you're telling this new story of me and SP are in a happy, committed relationship, I'm always prioritized, I'm always chosen, more than you're telling the old, shitty, unfavorable story, your subconscious mind will always produce proof of the dominant story you are telling. And this is how manifestation works in a really simple way. Like at its simplest, that's all you would ever need to know. The dominant story you are telling, your subconscious mind will always produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. So now let's go a little bit deeper into, okay, but what happens when you begin to affirm more for your specific person? So let's say that you are really saturating your subconscious mind with me and my specific person are in a loving, happy, committed relationship. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just say you affirm one affirmation, okay? And you do this day in and day out, meaning you're doing some focused affirming sessions, you're doing some robotic affirmations, any spare minute of your day, you are really saturating your subconscious mind with this story that you and your specific person are in a happy, committed relationship. And anytime you are thinking an opposing thought, meaning any thought that is not your end, such as SP hates me, SP doesn't want to be with me, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, what if this doesn't work? What if I don't get my manifestation? When this happens, you redirect your thoughts back to the end. That's what keeping a strong mental diet is all about. So you then redirect your thought to, nope, me and my specific person are in a loving, committed relationship. So that is the only thought that you are thinking when it comes to your specific person. Well, what will happen is eventually that thought that you are thinking, which implies your end, will become the dominant story within you. And when this happens, remember, your subconscious mind will produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. So this is when you will manifest a version of your specific person that wants to commit to you and that wants to be in a relationship with you. So now going back to the question of, well, is it true that the more I affirm for my specific person, the more they are going to focus on themselves because I'm focused on them? The answer to this is it is actually not true. Now, stay with me here because I really want to share all the information so that you really understand why this is not true. Okay? So, number one, what is actually happening when you're affirming for your specific person? So when you're changing your story about your specific person, right? So that, let's say that your specific person is somebody who's not affectionate, or traditionally has been somebody who's not affectionate, but you want them to be more affectionate because that's your preference. So you begin to tell the story, well, my specific person is so affectionate with me. They are always being so loving to me. They're always telling me how much they love me. Okay, you begin to saturate your mind with this. What is actually happening is that you are changing how you see yourself in relation to your specific person. So the stories that you tell about your specific person has nothing to really do with them. It's to do with how you see yourself in relation to them. It's all to do with you. It's all to do with the way you see yourself in relation to them, which means the focus is actually about you, not about them. And this is where kind of people get it wrong. People who are sharing information out there that say, oh, the more you focus on your specific person, you affirm for them, the more they're going to focus on themselves. That's actually a limiting belief. That's an assumption. And the truth is, if you accept this as your truth, if you begin to believe, yeah, the more I affirm for my specific person, the more they are going to focus on themselves, then that's a version of reality you are going to manifest, but not because it's actually true, but because now you've accepted that as an assumption. You've accepted that as a belief. So your subconscious mind has to prove you right, has to prove this to you in your 3D reality, when in fact, this is not the case. Again, let's go back to making it simple, okay? Whatever you focus on, you will get more of in your reality. So the more you focus on me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship, my specific person loves me, my specific person adores me, the more you focus on this, the more your subconscious mind will prove this to you in your reality. You will begin to see evidence of this in your 3D reality the more you focus on it, because what you focus on, you will get more of in your 3D reality. And again, remember, when you are telling a new story about your specific person, it has nothing to do with them. You are simply changing the way that you see yourself in relation to them. So again, everything comes back to self. Everything comes back to becoming the version of you that sees yourself in a happy, committed relationship with your SP, that sees yourself as being loved by your SP, that sees yourself as being adored by your SP, or whatever it is that you desire from your SP. You're seeing yourself as that version of you. There is no one else to change but self. So when you're changing your story about your specific person, you're actually changing you. Okay, you are becoming the version of you that has your manifestation. Another way to look at this is when you are affirming for your specific person, you are simply selecting a different version of your specific person from the quantum field that already thinks, feels, and acts in accordance to your affirmation. That's all you're doing. You're literally selecting a different version of them. In the same way that you selected the version of them that's an asshole or a douchebag, because maybe you had stories such as, my specific person is an asshole, my specific person is a douchebag, my specific person is never affectionate with me. When you entertain those stories, you selected that version of your specific person from the quantum field that thinks, feels, and acts in accordance to those stories, to those unfavorable stories. Right? So you caused them to show up that way in your 3D reality and treat you in an unfavorable way because you entertained negative, unfavorable stories about your specific person. So now all you are doing is you are choosing a different version of your specific person. Right? You're choosing the version of them that you prefer. And so, ultimately, the way they want to look at this is you're choosing to think loving thoughts about your specific person. It is better to tell a story such as my specific person loves me, adores me, my specific person and me are in a happy, committed relationship, versus saying my specific person is an asshole, my specific person treats me like shit. Because if you keep telling that story, you are selecting that version of them from the quantum field that thinks, feels, and acts in accordance to what you're affirming. So then your subconscious mind will produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality if it's an assumption or if it's a dominant thought pattern. That's just the way the law works, whether you believe in it or not. The law is always working. So what actually happens the more you affirm for your specific person? Well, what is happening there is you're saturating your subconscious mind with your new story at a faster rate. Right? The more you affirm, the more you're crowding out any old thought patterns. And so what this means is it means that the more you focus on it, the more you shine your light of consciousness on the story that me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship, then the faster your manifestation will happen. Because remember, creation's finished. You're not creating anything. It's already done. Okay? The time it takes you to manifest the version of your specific person that you desire is completely contingent on you. Like the faster you saturate your subconscious mind with it, the faster it will show up in your 3D reality, period. So, to be clear, my message is the more you focus on affirming for your specific person, the faster you will manifest the version of them that you prefer. And to answer the question that one of you guys asked me, which was, is it true that the more I focus on my specific person, the more they will focus on themselves because everybody's you pushed out? No, that is actually absolutely not true, because when you are changing your story about your specific person, the only person that you're changing is you, right? You're changing how you see yourself in relation to them. You're not changing them. In the 3D, you're not trying to manipulate them or tell them, hey, you need to be different, right? You're leaving that alone because you understand that's only one version of them. You're not trying to change them. You're literally selecting a different version of them from the quantum field that is in alignment with what you desire. That is what you are doing when you're affirming what it is that you prefer in relation to your specific person. Now, something else that I will mention, because again, I want to give you guys all the information to make sure that you not only get your manifestation, but you are able to sustain your manifestation, is that you always want to make sure that you have a solid self-concept. So you don't want to just be affirming for your specific person, like your end. You also want to be affirming for your self-concept, meaning the way that you see yourself in general when it comes to love and relationship, regardless of your specific person. You want to make sure that you have a really high self-concept where you know your value and your worth. So do you have stories such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not lovable? Or do you have stories that say, I am perfect exactly the way that I am, I'm always lovable, I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, I am whole, I am healthy? Do you have favorable stories about how you see yourself when it comes to love and relationship? And the reason why this is equally as important as affirming for your specific person is because you can manifest the version of your specific person that loves you and that adores you simply by just affirming, me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship. And you saturate your subconscious mind with this so that it becomes a dominant story within you. Your subconscious mind will produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. So you will manifest a version of your specific person that wants to be in a committed relationship with you and that loves you. However, if you have a self-concept that says, if you don't know your value and your worth, so you have a self-concept that says, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. Yes, you can call in a version of your specific person that wants to be with you, but it's another story if you can actually receive that love that your specific person is giving to you. So as an example, your specific person could be saying to you, I love you so much. But because you have a low self-concept that says, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving of this, you question what they're saying. You're like, are they lying to me? Are they playing me? Right? You're unable to receive the love that they are showering you with. And that's why it's so important to work on your self-concept to make sure that you really know your value and your worth so that you're able to really receive the love that is being flowed to you when your specific person does come in. So you absolutely want to be doing both. You want to be affirming for your specific person, meaning affirming a story that implies your end with your specific person. So you want to be telling positive, favorable stories about your specific person, and you want to be affirming for your self-concept so that you begin to really know your worth and value. Now, something else that I want to point out here is that doing self-concept work is also not enough, like just doing self-concept work, because sometimes people will go the other end of the spectrum and say, well, I'm only going to do self-concept. I'm not going to affirm for my specific person. And the reason why only doing self-concept work also doesn't guarantee that you will get your specific person is because you could have a really high self-concept that says, oh, I know I'm lovable. I know I'm worthy. However, you still have negative stories about your specific person that say my specific person is not ready for commitment. So your self-concept therefore excludes your specific person. So although you might know your value and your worth, your specific person is still going to show up in your reality as the version of them that is not ready for a committed relationship with you, because you still have a story that says that. Like, another way to look at this is, to really drive this point home, is you could have a really high self-concept that says, I know I'm lovable, I'm good enough, I'm always treated like a queen. But let's say you have a story about your specific person, such as my specific person is always late. So you will experience a version of your specific person that is always late, right? Regardless of the fact that you know you're lovable and good enough. And this is why I always promote on my channel, you want to be affirming for both. You want to be doing affirmations for your self-concepts that you know your value and your worth, but you also want to be affirming for your specific person and going to the end. You always want to do both so that you are covered, so that you are also able to maintain your manifestation once you receive it. So I hope this video has really helped to give you some clarity on what actually happens the more you affirm for your specific person. So to summarize, the more you affirm for your specific person, the faster you saturate your subconscious mind with your new story. And therefore, the faster you will manifest the version of your specific person that you desire. However, you also want to make sure that you also have a really solid self-concept where you know your value and your worth. So you want to be affirming for both your self-concept and affirmations for your specific person. So an example of what this could look like is, me and my specific person are in a happy, loving, committed relationship. I am perfect exactly the way that I am. I am always chosen. I am always prioritized. Like, those could be, as an example, your 4 affirmations that you are saturating your subconscious mind with, that include both self-concept and positive affirmations about your specific person. And once these new stories become dominant within you, meaning you're telling the new story more than you're telling the old story, your subconscious mind will produce proof of this to you in your 3D reality. This is when you'll manifest the version of your specific person that you desire. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.